It's a familiar story. Aspiring actor moves to Los Angeles to seek a career to what one would never expect. A 20-year-old from Washington State never imagined she would be starring in a crime that would take her inside a seamy underbelly of Southern California, leading her to more than 500 pounds of marijuana and a drug conviction. Her fascinating story is told in the pages of Smoke, how a small-town girl accidentally wound up smuggling 7 tons of marijuana with the pot princess of Beverly Hills. Let's welcome Meili Cady to MidPoint. Meili, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Meili, as you look back, you met Lisette Lee, the heir to the Samsung fortune, and she was the one who basically had everything working, and she was the one who got you involved. When did you know, from the time you met her until the time it started to all take hold, that you knew you were in too deep?
Well, there were a lot of red flags that I sort of resisted really thinking about it the way that I should have initially when I first started working for her. But it was on the 5th trip that I made from Los Angeles to Ohio that I realized fully what I was a part of.
Did you always know that when you were traveling that you were smuggling? Did you know that every single time?
I didn't know that at the outset of it, no. But it became very clear on the 5th trip, but there were a lot of things to suggest that we were smuggling probably money prior to that.
When you actually had that first indication, that light bulb that goes off in your head and said, wait a minute, this is it, how helpless did you feel? Did she make it difficult for you to get out? Were there threats involved?
There were never any direct threats, but there were a lot of what I would consider indirect threats. By the time I found out exactly what we were a part of, what I had become a part of, I knew a lot of things about her that scared me. For one, she said that she had everyone's phones tapped and surveillance in her business partner's apartment, unbeknownst to him. She told me for years that she had used a hitman for various tasks for business with her family and Samsung. And she said that was the way that they operated and did business on a larger level, not necessarily for killing people, but she suggested that she had someone who she would hire to injure people if a business transaction went bad. And she said a lot of things along those lines that were never direct threats, but once I realized how deep I was in with her, I didn't think that I would be able to step away safely.
As you look back on this, you were 19 years of age when you came to Los Angeles. Do you then see how easy it is, and is it almost the red light that goes off in your mind, how simple it is for other young girls, specifically young girls, to get involved in something like this, to want to be a star, and then the next thing they know, they're involved in something that ruins their entire life?
It's so easy for it to happen. It's still difficult sometimes for me to believe that it happened to me, but I think that you never think that it would happen to you. If I was watching this story and it wasn't about me, I would probably be thinking it never could have happened to me. But the truth is that it's not always one big bad decision. It can be a series of smaller, not so great decisions that lead to this horrible outcome. In my case, I'm actually lucky that it was just pot, because it could have been something much, much worse, and it could have not ended where it did. Because based on just the decisions that I made that got me there, the same decisions could have led to far worse, irrevocable consequences.
Lisette Lee got 6 years in prison. You got 30 days in custody and a year of home confinement. I got about a minute left here. I guess maybe if there's a bright side to all this, and boy, it's tough to find anything bright in what you went through for so many years. I actually hear that maybe there's someone considering making a movie of your life based on the book?
Paramount Studios has optioned my life rights and brought me on to consult on a project they have in development. But I have learned to not get too swept away in some of the shinier things in life. So we'll see what happens with that. But for now, I'm very happy to be safe, and have enjoyed sharing my story, and I hope people can learn something from it.
Well, I got to tell you something. It's a fascinating story, and knowing Hollywood as I do and the industry, I can see this happening. It's very easy for this to happen. The way that, as you said, the shiny things catch everybody's attention. The book is called Smoke: How a Small Town Girl Accidentally Wound Up Smuggling 7,000 pounds of marijuana with the Pot Princess of Beverly Hills, and it is a real cautionary tale. Meili, thank you so much for joining us. I hope we get a chance to talk again, and I hope that we get a chance to see the movie, and the book is marvelous. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care. When we come back, it's all about hair. Trust me, I'll take you along on this follically challenged moment.